You know, when I was trying to figure out some way to vanish a rubber ball, I thought of having it go up my left sleeve. Well, obviously, with just a shirt on, that'd be pretty difficult. I discovered a very simple way to vanish a rubber ball. I discovered zone 0. No one ever thought of it before. Brought it here to show you. This is zone 0. Whatever goes through that hole into zone 0, it instantly vanishes. Whatever goes through the hole into zone 0, it instantly vanishes. Now, the beautiful part about it, it's sort of like a functional black hole. I can reach right in there and retrieve it. Now, I did research on this, and I discovered the ball doesn't actually vanish when it goes through the hole. It's when I take my hand out that it's gone. I'm talking about totally, completely, absolutely gone, but always instantly retrievable. Zone 0. I'd like to show you what I call a perfect illusion. It's this yellow spot on this sheet of plastic. Now, it isn't literally perfect, but I call it the illusion of the yellow ball. Doesn't that just look solid? Now, you will all recall that first it was flat like that. First it was flat like that. And then it was the illusion. There it is. Of the yellow ball. Watch the illusion of the yellow ball. Let me explain what happens. You see, I form this into a cone around my left index finger like this. Now it is empty. Now the only thing I have to be careful about, if that hole gets too large, the ball could get out. I'm going to roll this into a tube instead of a cone. You can see the ball is still in there. Now, if I put one hand over each end of that tube, we all know it is literally impossible for that ball to get out. Yes, it is indeed, flat like that. Now, let me explain what happens. You see, I form this into a tube like this, into a cone like this, and we have the perfect illusion of the yellow ball. You've heard of acupuncture where they push needles in you? Have you ever heard of acupressure? Now, some people think there are pressure points as treatment for disease. I don't believe in any of that, but let me show you what I discovered. Now, this is very, very amazing. Look, if I press right here for 3 seconds, that's the perfect treatment for anemia. Now, anemia like iron, right? This is far, far better because you get solid steel. Solid steel. You know, I've been thinking about going into holistic medicine. There's more money in that than magic, perhaps. You've heard of acupuncture where they push needles in you. Have you ever heard of acupressure? Now, look, some people think there are pressure points treatment for disease. I don't believe in any of that, but let me show you what I discovered. This is very, very amazing. Look, if I press right here for 3 seconds, that's the perfect treatment for anemia. Now, an anemia like iron, right? This is far, far better because you get solid steel. Solid steel. Here's one of my ideas. It's sort of like a modernistic sculpture of 2 large brass nuts. And if I move them, they look like they're moving independently of each other. Now, here's a strange thing about this. If I take this fluorescent tube, and if I push it through this nut, it will look like it has to go around the corner to go through the other one. Very strange. Here's one of my ideas. It's sort of a modernistic sculpture, like 2 large brass nuts. Let's see if I can lift them. Now, there's also something very strange about these. If I take a fluorescent fixture, and if I push it through this nut, it will look like it goes around the corner and flexes to go through the other nut. Very strange. Here's an idea of mine. I call it my paradox box. It's an interesting box. The reason I call it a paradox box, it's sort of a negative box. It's hard to describe it. But, so I'm going to add this flat panel to this negative box, and what you see it will do, it will look like I have cut the corner off and built it in. See, the corner's gone from the box now. Now there's a hole in the box, and you can see inside. Not much light in there, but you can see inside. Now I'm going to plug this tube in that hole. And now if I turn the box, that black tube will look like it's weaving back and forth, sticking out of the hole in the corner of a box with the corner cut off, or in a box with the corner cut off. Now actually, look, what I've done is I've made these three sides of a box, you see, and I've painted or drawn on the inside so it looks like the outside. And immediately when I get back around here, your wonderful mind reverses it, turns it into a box. I'm going to take the tube out. Now if I take this square panel off of the box, now once the corner pops back on, and there it is, called the paradox box. Now this is sort of one of my sort of invention thing. I call it the trizonal space warper. I'm going to spin this disc, and I want you to keep staring right at the center. You keep looking right at the center of that trizonal space warper. It takes maybe 15 or 20 seconds to get the effect. Now when I stop this disc, then we'll put that still cloud picture back on the screen, and you can see the clouds boil, or you can look away at some friend or some other object in the room. So I'm now going to stop the disc. Doing some general things here. There's no audience here. Ken is going to take a card or two. Just gives you a general idea of what my technique looks like from the audience viewpoint. Here, you take any card you'd like.
All right.
So let me see it. Put your initials on the face of it. Now put your card back in the deck any place you'd like, but not near the top. Right down there. Okay, I'll push it into where I couldn't possibly see what your card is. I'd say it's down there just about in the center of the deck. Now I want you to think of any real small number. Make it between 1 and 5. Otherwise it's going to take too long. Tell me the number you're thinking of.
Let's do my favorite number 4.
You do the favorite number 4. Okay, you take the deck. Now I haven't shuffled nor cut.
Okay.
And do you ever heard of telekinesis?
Mm-hmm.
It's the mental control of physical objects. I don't believe in any of that kind of stuff, but I want you to mentally move your card from where you put it to number 4 from the top. So deal 4 cards face up on my hand.
All right. Number 4?
Number 4. Is that it?
No.
No. Look at the next card.
That was it?
That's it?
That's it.
Okay.
Okay.
Now let me show you something that I discovered many years ago. The other ace vanished too. You notice those aces have some initials on them.
Mm-hmm.
Here, you take the aces and put them all together, face down in the center, and leave them protruding so you know they're still there.
All right.
Now, many, many years ago, I discovered that I could just simply wave my hand over the deck like that, and those four aces would physically come right up to the top. You want to deal them face up on my hand?
Face up.
Face up, one at a time. There are the four aces. Now, that looked pretty good, but I could have had four other aces already on top. I didn't, but I could have had. You have the pen. Why don't you put your initials near this, not near the edge, on the ace of diamonds.
Okay.
Now, before I did it the easy way, now I'm going to do it the hard way. I want you to take those four aces face up so there can be no trickery, and insert them in four widely separated places in the deck and leave them protruding.
All right.
Now, if the hand were quicker than the eye, which it indeed is not, if I pushed these aces flush with all the rest of the cards, if I could cut the cards so fast the human eye couldn't see, transpose the two halves, I could get one of your aces to the bottom or top. But if I did that, this bottom card, the Queen of Hearts, would change, and the top card, the Eight of Hearts, would change. Now, he's put those four aces face up in four different places in the deck. Now, here's what I propose to do. Totally impossible as it sounds, I'm going to snap my finger like this, and I think you will have to agree that indeed that 8 is still on top. The Queen's on the bottom. You take the cards and deal the four top cards face up on my hand, including your ace with your initial. Tell you what, perhaps you'd better initial the other three aces. Don't get them together because the ink might transfer.
All right.
Now let me explain what I mean when I say the hand is not quicker than I am 74. If I live to be 100, practiced every moment from now on, I couldn't learn to move my right hand an eighth of an inch back so fast I couldn't see, not a 16th of an inch. The hand is not quicker than I. Now, we have had all four of these aces initialed. I didn't pay any particular attention. That top ace is the ace of clubs. Would you take the cards and could you follow my instructions exactly?
Okay.
Turn the top ace face down on the deck. I want you to deal the four aces face down in a pile here. Next four cards face down in a pile over there. And then you hold on to the deck. Now obviously, if I never cover these cards and get these cards near these cards, there's no way known to man I can switch them. Here, let me show you what I mean. Just put these on the bottom. Would you deal the next four cards face down in a pile? Now I want you to watch every move I make. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think everyone will agree I have never covered these cards. I have never gotten these cards near these cards. You initiated the ace before we started. You dealt every card's been dealt, and that's why it seems absolutely impossible. But you can verify the fact that over here, with your initials, are the aces. And of course, over here, indeed, are the indifferent cards. Now, the beautiful part about this, it's different than the other tricks because the spectator themselves initial the cards, and they deal every card that's been dealt, and you can verify that those indeed are your four aces with your initials.
That's excellent.
Yeah, have you ever wondered what a magician does when he makes a mistake?
Many times.
Right. You take any card you'd like and show it to the camera there.
Okay.
I won't peek at the monitor, so I don't know what the card is. Now, if I did see it then, but that was an accident. It doesn't matter. If I put your card here in the center of the deck, then if I very carefully squared the cards like this, now if I said, here's your card, I'll put it on the bottom, you'd probably say I was wrong. What was your card? It wasn't the 3 of clubs, was it?
No.
Watch. Then I would very slowly pass my hand over the 3 of clubs. Right in front of your very eyes, the 3 of clubs would indeed turn itself into your card, which is the 10 of spades.
That's amazing.
I used to do a trick, I called it the tracker jacks. You use the 2 red jacks, and you take out any card you'd like, and I call it the tracker jacks because they'll track down your card. Now you put your initials on the face of it, so you know I can't be switching. Don't let me see it. You can show it to the camera, but I won't look at the monitor. Okay? Now I would have someone put one of the jacks face up down there, one face up here, and you put your card face down in between them. Now your card is not near either jack. Now the reason I call it the tracker jacks is those jacks are supposed to track down your card. Now I'm not going to shuffle, I'm not going to cut, I'm merely going to riffle the deck once like this. I'm going to hand you the deck, you spread it out, and see if the jacks will track down your card. There are the 2 jacks with one card in between. You want to turn it over and see if that's your card?
That's it.
Right, let's do it again. We'll just use the same card to save. Let me do that again. Let's just use the same card to save time. We'll put one jack face up here, one jack face up here, and you put your card face down in between them so it isn't near either jack. Now there's his card face down between the 2 face-up jacks. Now I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to have you shuffle the cards and shuffle them under the table so even you can't see. And when you bring them up, if there's a face-up jack on top, you bury it.
Okay.
Okay. Now, I'm going to shuffle the cards. Now, you wouldn't dream that those jacks could track down your cards with the cards flying through the air like that, would you?
No.
It just doesn't seem like the cards flying through the air like that, they could track down your cards. I think they found it. You spread them out yourself and see. There's the 2 face-up jacks.
Yeah.
With one card in between them, and the one card is indeed your card.
7 of hearts, that was it.
Tracker jacks. Here's a funny little thing. I'm going to use the jack of spades. Now, if I squeeze the jack of spades between my hands, it will turn face up. Now, there's nothing peculiar about this except you'll notice that when the jack turns face up, never do my hands separate far enough for it to do it. But when it does, it jumps right back there in the center of the deck, and there it is.
That's nice. That's pretty.
Here's a sort of a different trick. You touch any 2 cards that are together in the deck.
Okay.
These 2 right here, fine. Those are the 2 cards I'll use. Now, you stop me. It was a free choice. The Ace of Spades and the Jack of Hearts. Ace of Spades and Jack of Hearts. Now, sometimes people say, Jerry, where on earth did that silver dollar come from? Let me show you where the silver dollar came from. Watch. It came from right where it's gone back to. Gone. This is an entirely different kind of a card trick, and if you don't watch closely, I guarantee you're going to miss it. I'm going to use 2 cards. Whenever you say stop, I'll use those 2 cards.
Stop.
Now, in this particular case, you stop me at the 7 of diamonds and the 7 of clubs. 7 of clubs and 7 of diamonds. Fair enough?
Mm-hmm.
Watch. Actually, that wasn't very fair because you didn't know what to expect. Besides that, it could have come from my sleeves. Would you say stop again anytime you'd like?
All right, stop.
Now, in this particular case, you stop me at the 2 of hearts and the Queen of diamonds. Queen of diamonds and 2 of hearts. Now, it really was fair that time. Watch. I'm going to show you a trick with the 2 of hearts. I'm going to slowly, this is the reason I need to use no deck. I'm going to slowly fairly. Tear that 2 in 2. Right there in the center. Watch, slowly and fairly. Watch. Obviously, that leaves the 2 pieces of the torn 2. I'm just going to use this piece here. Now, before I tore that card into halves, this time I'm going to tear the card into quarters. This is your last chance into quarters. Watch. Your last chance. Watch. The miser's miracle.
Incredible.
To do this will be a miracle. I've got a poor dude.